Hey, Dan Passarelli here. Remember those commercials back in the 80s when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. Well, now it's when Jay Powell talks, people listen. And he talked today and, well, people listened and they acted on that information. Today, the S&P 500, as measured by SPY, was down 2.2% on the close. No gain, but more pain. Ouchie, ouchie. Why is this, though? Why is this? Well, I was kind of thinking about it. And listening to the comments from Powell earlier today, it kind of solidified some thoughts for me. So right now, we basically have two forces acting independently and contrary to one another, both arguably trying to help the economy and both arguably trying to do their jobs as the way they see it. One is we have this tariff thing, right? And the plan is that this should be good for America in the long run, not in the short run. Trump said that there could be some pain in the short term, which we are feeling. And part of that pain is the very strong likelihood that inflation goes up and the economy heads more towards recession, meaning less employment or higher unemployment, depending on which way you want to look at that. Now, that's in the short term. In the long term, if things work out as the Trump administration is planning, I would imagine that unemployment would go down greatly, employment would go up. Inflation still remains kind of a question, though, because as the economy heats up, inflation gets higher. So we've got that force acting, right? But then we've got this other force, the Fed, who has a very specific mandate. They have to do certain things. They have to achieve two goals, and only two goals. That is to keep inflation low and to keep unemployment low, okay? Or employment high, again, depending on how you look at it. While one force is leading the market lower, likely leading towards inflation, possibly leading towards more unemployment, possibly. Jury's out on that. There's some conflicting thoughts among thought leaders. And the other force is fighting inflation, trying to keep it down, and absolutely trying to keep unemployment down. So there's a little bit of a headbutting. It's not complete equal and opposite, but there's a lot of friction. There's a lot of headbutting there going on, and there's not too much of a way around it. And the real problem came today. I mean, earlier today, the market reached about 1% lower earlier in the day, this morning. But the market was up at some point today. And we gave back those gains because when Powell was asked if there was going to be a Fed put, meaning not let the market fall drastically, his answer was decisively no. You can take whatever political position you want, whatever. That's not relevant to economic thinking and investing thinking and trading thinking. From investing and trading thinking, it makes sense why he thinks that. He's got to reach his mandates. And so I believe him at face value. So that doesn't become a deal breaker for the market. However, tariffs are handled between now and whenever is what we're going to need to focus on. And we can stop focusing on the Fed and put all of our intellectual ciphering more into what actions are going to happen around tariffs. That ends up being the most important thing. And, there's a great deal of psychology that goes into that. What does the administration do if the market does this? What does the administration do if this other thing happens? Nobody can predict the way any other human being is going to think, or a group of human beings for that matter. In a way, this doesn't add more chaos. It just clarifies a couple of things, and in some ways makes our thinking easier because there's one item that we know is off the table, and that is there's not a Fed put. So like I've been saying for about a good 2 weeks now, it's very, very likely that volatility will continue. And hey, we all know that that's good for option traders. And it's really, really good if you're an investor who uses options with covered calls and cash secured puts. Both of those lighten the blow of down moves in the market. You get the opportunity when the market goes up to add some of those covered calls, the opportunity when the market goes down to buy some of them back and to sell some cash secured puts, and vice versa. So we've got many, many opportunities, and we just focus as traders, positive attitude about trading, and I think this can continue to be a great year for option traders. I hope that helps. This is Dan Passarelli. Trade smart.